What is going on, y'all? Welcome to Joel Friday TV. I am Joel Friday. Welcome to the show. A few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down, like, subscribe, and share button. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. Do it now. Help a brother out. As you guys know, we are live Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and punchy.tv. And at any point during the show, you can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can get into it. Whatever you want to talk about, we can get into it. Make sure you guys call in. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you just want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV, or go directly to the YouTube live chat, hit your super chat buttons, or send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air. Right? Right. Amazing stuff. What's today, y'all? Today's Tuesday. What does that mean? True Crime Tuesday. Oh, we getting into it. I got some stuff. When I tell you, I got some questions. I mainly have questions, right? I mainly have questions, but I also have some details that I want to get into, okay? Because as you guys know, some of you guys may know, let's jump right into it. Some of you guys may know of the story about Emmarae Gervasi, right? Emmarae Gervasi disappeared from her home in Patchogue, Long Island on December 9th when she was seen getting into a car on her block. She was allegedly kidnapped. So this young girl, 14, just recently in 2024, December 9th, gets kidnapped. Right? Allegedly gets kidnapped. And the father calls the police and, files a missing person case. And the police are looking. The father grows a little restless and decides to take matters into his own hands and decides to start looking for his daughter himself. So he follows his own leads and discovers a tip, right? Somebody gives him a tip of where his missing daughter might be. So the father, Frank Gervasi, goes and investigates on his own, and he shows up to where his daughter is suspected to be, according to the tip. He gets there, and it's a loading dock, right? It's a boat dock. And the tip is that his daughter is on the boat. Frank finds the boat, jumps in, kicks the door down, according to reports, right? Finds his daughter in the boat. Amazing stuff, right? His daughter asked her dad, "Dad, how did you find me? How did you know I was here?" He shared that there were rumors that there were going around. I'm sorry, let me read that right. I'm black. He shared that there were rumors that they were going to move the boat down south soon, right? The boat was about to go, right? And they could have left the state easily and no one would have been able to trace it through the waterway. So the father finds the boat, hops on the boat, kicks down the door, sees his daughter in there. The daughter is happy. "Father, yay, you found me. How'd you know I was here?" And he said, "Girl, I'm the daddy. You know how I do?" Right? Basically. Incredible story, right? It sounds like a movie. It sounds like Taken Part 6. It sounds like amazing stuff, heroic. And it is. The daughter is found. She's safe. She's not dead. She's alive. And throughout that whole process, it was about 30 days that she was missing, right? She was missing for about 30 days. Almost 30 days. So that sounds all good and everything. And just to add on top of it right here, father is there. Boom. Beautiful stuff. Father finds her. Bam. She's happy. Daddy's back. I'm happy back with my daddy. Love my daddy. Amazing stuff. Thank you, Dad. You the best. And you didn't give up on me. Amazing stuff. Right? Beautiful stuff. Right? Well, there's more to the story. There is more to the story here. So, this is from New York Post. Long Island dad who described rescuing his teen from a boat after she disappeared for a month says he believes she was sex trafficked and forced to do things that a 14-year-old girl shouldn't have done. This is where it started to get a little fishy. Let's roll that first clip.
A lot of confusion, a lot of dumb comments I'm reading that Emma could have just left on her own will. Completely incorrect. Emma was being held against her will. She was not allowed to leave the boat unless she was escorted by somebody. And she was being forced to do things that a 14-year-old girl shouldn't have to do. So I do believe this is sex trafficking, and it's being looked into. So can we just leave the stupid comments off the page that, you know, my daughter's a runaway and things like that? She may have left the house with a stupid thought.
Oh.
What happened to her in this really bad world we live in is what we're talking about here.
Hold up. Mr. Frank. He said that she may have left the house with a stupid thought. What does that mean, Mr. Frank? Frank, what does that mean? What are you saying here, Frank? Are you saying that she left the house intentionally? She left the house with plans to leave with this? She left her house with the stupid thought. What does that mean? Well, I did a little bit more research because I just was starting to try to paint the picture, right? And shout out to the father, Frank. Respect to him wanting to look for his daughter and then finding his daughter. But I have questions. I do. And these questions are important, okay? Because I'm digging into the story and something seems a little off. So I'm looking at Frank, and Frank, this father who's very tattooed, right? Tattooed up. And that kind of raised a question, like, you know, what's his lifestyle? What is he into? And it made me just start thinking a little bit. So I just dug, and this is just according to the reports. Of course, this is all alleged. This is reports that have been done online, meaning people have investigated into these things, got some information. Of course, we don't know if it's true. This is just according to reports, and I'm just asking questions. Emmarae was last seen leaving her house without a jacket. This is from the New York Post. Emmarae was last seen leaving her house without a jacket or shoes, right? Getting into a car, according to Greater Long Island. So the signs there is that she's just going, for one, why does she have no shoes and no jacket, right? You can say like, oh, okay, she was just stepping outside for a second. But many reports that I came across are saying that no, she got into the car, willfully got into the car. And then the father himself says, maybe she had a stupid thought, right? Basically, seemingly to me, alluding to, yeah, she maybe wanted to, you know, go hang out. But it doesn't mean that she's a part of this whole operation of sex trafficking and everything. They're calling it sex trafficking, rape. So let's get into it. So what I did was like, I was like, okay, well, let me dig into her past, right? Let me dig into her life, her upbringing. What was that like for her? And let's try to make sense of why the father would say maybe she had just a stupid thought, right? A year before leaving her home and allegedly being held captive and abused, Emma, like many other teens, were posting pictures on TikTok and Instagram, right? And some of these pictures were raising red flags, according to reports, and I agree. I got them here. Multiple posts were showing her wearing nothing more than lingerie, acting in a sexually aggressive manner. One video appeared to show her driving at 4 a.m., and she was just 13 at the time. I do not have the lingerie photos. I didn't pull those, but I do have some of her a little bit younger than 13, okay? So I'm going to show you guys here. This is Emma. Hold on. Boom, let's get to it. Wow, this is Emma here, right? This was from Emma's Instagram. This is from 2020 on Emma's Instagram, right? And at this point, she's 14 now. So in 2020, she had to be around 9 or 10, right? This is the pictures that she posted on her IG, her Instagram here. I'll show you a couple of them, right? 9 or 10 years old. And she's posing in like a provocative way, right? She has these pants that are ripped up, kind of revealing, kind of like sensual looking, appealing. She got this little crop top, right? It's not the worst thing you've ever seen, but you can tell that she has a little bit of like sensuality here at 9 or 10, if we're being appropriate. You know what I mean? Boom, right? And if you're paying attention, you look at the little kids in the background, they're just like playing handball or something. They look like 8, 9, or 10, right? Like regular 8, 9, 10. She's posing for photos and being cute and blah, 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 right? So this made you kind of question. And here's another picture of her hugging her dad, right? And she's kind of got these little shorts on, and it just kind of mature looking. You know what I mean? Very mature looking. She looks like all but like 12 in this photo. She looks a little bit older in this photo. But I forgot this one. My bad. Let me go back to this. Was also when she was 9 or 10, right? Yikes. This one's also when 9 or 10. I blurred it out because it was kind of revealing a bit much for a 9 or 10-year-old. But she's 9 or 10 here. This is 2020. And she's in the water here, and she's got this little 2-piece bathing suit on, right? And she's posing in such a way to where it's very sensual looking, and she's only 9 or 10. Looking very young. She definitely looks like a little girl, but the way she's posing here, she's pulling up her bottom parts of the bathing suit, and it's kind of revealing a lot of skin, right? She's doing what she's obviously seen online. She's doing how she's behaving, how she's feeling, and boom, right? Very obvious that there's something going on. All right. So I say that to say is that there were red flags that were obvious in her life. This was, so then I looked at that. I'm like, okay, well, this girl is very fast, right? She's growing up fast. She's into like these things. What does that also mean? That maybe she's also into boys, right? Maybe she's also into boys. Maybe she's experiencing things a lot sooner because it seems like she's growing up a lot sooner. So I did some more digging. I'm like, let me go to her upbringing, right? Despite barely being a teenager, Emma had already lived through significant issues. She had behavior problems for some years due to a trauma she suffered in her childhood. They didn't really speak on the trauma, or at least I didn't find what that trauma was, but she experienced some trauma that she was reacting to, right? According to her family, she had run away from home a couple times. Interesting. She's ran away from home a couple times, right? So there's been multiple incidents where she left home, right? Emma had been treated for substance abuse at substance abuse facilities in New York. This is according to New York Post. In New York and then Minnesota, where she was also admitted to juvenile detention for allegedly hitting a cop. Very interesting, right? This young girl, 13, maybe 13 at the time, goes to juvie for hitting a cop, and she's also in rehab for substance abuse, right? A substance abuse facility, right? She's trying to get help. The middle schooler was freed from detention with an ankle monitor in the custody of her unconventional father, right? Frank Gervasi. Now hear this. Frank Gervasi is an auto detailer and amateur porn star. The dad. With facial tattoos. Right? So the father, Mr. Frank, is an auto dealer, but also, according to reports, an amateur porn star. Right? Of course, we don't know if that's true. This is what the reports say. But an amateur porn star, right? Which kind of paints a accurate picture of the way this young girl is being influenced in her early years, right? She's very sexual looking, right? She's behaving sexually. She's growing up fast, posing in perverted ways. Her father is all tatted up. He's all tatted. And according to reports, he was an amateur porn star. I don't know if he still is or he was. So it's like all like the dots are kind of just being connected. Like stuff was already happening here before this kidnapping started. Right? And then there's a guy named Alton Harold who was arrested and charged as one of the kidnappers in the story of Emma, right? And I have a photo of him here. Let's get into him. Hold on, let me find this photo here. I thought I had it ready for y'all. Let's get into this man because this man had some stuff. Give me a second. Hold up. Mr. Anton. Here we go. Boom. This is Anton, right? Anton is being accused of kidnapping her because according to Eyewitness News, Alton Harold is accused of picking Gervasi up from her home overnight on December 9th and bringing her to an abandoned house in his hometown where he allegedly gave her crack in exchange for sex, right? But prosecutors say it all began with 35-year-old, so this man right here is 35, but he is like a young-looking black male, right? Not semi-attractive, right? Semi-attractive to, I'm sure, the ladies. So I'm sure he doesn't have a major issue with getting ladies. So it's not far-fetched that, he was good with the words or attractive to Emma. And, they developed this relationship. Typically, young girls who are troubled love black men. If there are stats out there for that, there would probably be a high percentage. But it's not far-fetched that makes sense, right? So this guy here, 35-year-old Alton Harold, it says prosecutors say it all began with Alton, who was communicating with the teen on social media. Okay? So we've heard many of stories of young ladies on Instagram or young ladies on whatever, right? And on these dating apps or whatever, and they're talking to these guys. Some of the girls know that the guy is older and that like is more attractive to them, right? That actually they are not creeped out. They actually enjoy it. And some don't know that he's older, right? Because sometimes the guys lie. They pretend to be young girls and they get them caught up or whatever, right? But allegedly, they were talking already online. And allegedly, he's the one that came and picked her up from her home, right? And got in the car. And they were allegedly already in conversation, already talking. And that's when he picked her up. They took off and so on and so forth, right? But then you think like, oh, okay, well, what a weirdo. This guy, right? This 35-year-old man talking to this young girl, right? She seemingly looks very young. She is just this little girl. What a PDF. What a pedophile. And what a bad man. And all those things that you say are true. If this story is true, if this man is guilty, all those things are true, right? It's not decent behavior. He shouldn't be talking to no girls underage. None of that stuff should be happening. Yes, you're right. But let me show you what Emma looks like as a 14-year-old now. I showed you Emma 9 and 10. I want to show you Emma 14 and stuff now. Right? She still looks kind of young, but she's developed. Right? She's developed. So I'm not making any excuses for this man, but she is also developed enough to be able to use her body, if you will, to influence men, to attract men. And she has no problem doing that, right? And I think that's an important note to remember because the guys are always the ones being blamed. And yes, they're wrong. The guys shouldn't be behaving that way. The guys need to overcome that. And if he committed a crime, he should go to jail. There should be consequences. Yes. But we can't let the ladies off the hook. We can't let the parents off the hook. Look at the way 14-year-old Emma is dressing. She doesn't look like a 14-year-old girl. She looks very grown to me. This is her as well. 14, right? She got a belly button pierced already. She's 14, right? She got a crop top going, right? Like she looks like a developed young lady. I wouldn't say she looks grown, but she doesn't look 14, that's for sure. But she's already filling her body out. So it's not like these people were just creeping around and waiting to pick up a young girl, right? Which there's a lot of situations where that is true, right? There's creeps everywhere, right? But come on, this is a dance for two. She's online showing these things. It's an easy target. She's an easy target. But this is not what's going to be reported in the news, y'all. This is not what they're going to report in the news. This is not what the daddy or the mother are going to talk about. They're not going to talk about the responsibility that they had as parents to set the right example, right? And we all make mistakes. But we got to take accountability for those mistakes. We can't be in denial. Let's not pretend that she was this innocent young girl. Let's not pretend. I got one more last thing that might blow you guys' mind. One more last thing that might blow you guys' mind real quick. Hold up. One more last thing. After being found, this is alleged. After being found, a worker at New York State mental health facility, because after she was found, obviously they wanted to get her the proper care she needed. So they put her in a mental health facility because I believe, according to them in the report, she was raped and she went through this stuff. She was gone for 30 days, right? So they're saying that she's raped and all this stuff. So they wanted to get her the proper help. So they brought her to this mental health facility. A worker at a New York State run mental health facility was arrested for allegedly having sexual contact with the teen who was receiving treatment after going missing, according to reports. Deshaun McClain, 42, became the 9th person charged in connection to the disturbing case after he allegedly groped the 14-year-old girl and watched her engage in sexual activity during her time at the facility after she was found on January 3rd. So between January 3rd to January 29th at the facility after she came home from being kidnapped, well, allegedly kidnapped. We don't know. And she comes home, she goes in a mental health facility, and they mess around with her too. They're messing around with her at the mental health facility. She's getting groped, according to reports, right? And that's unfortunate. But I just got questions. Hold up. Why is she just at all corners getting messed with? Right? I just have the questions. Is she bringing any of this on herself? I'm wondering. I'm just wondering. I'm not accusing. I'm just questioning. Is she bringing any of this on herself, right? Is she being a specific way that's attracting this attention? Or is she intentionally bringing this on herself? Is she flirting with these people? Was she even in the mental health facility talking to another young boy or this man, right? There's so many questions, and we always want to resort back to, well, the children, so innocent children, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't know any better, da-da-da-da-da. And I understand, she's underage. But you saw this young girl. You saw her. She's very developed. And she already dealt with a lot of stuff. Her mind is already in this mental state of being grown and sensual and sexy. And she was doing it at 9 or 10. We've seen the photos. So it just seems kind of weird that now at the mental health facility, she's also getting these. I don't know. Unless it's some kind of weird coincidence. I don't know. I'm just wondering, is she playing a part in this? Does she want these things? Am I making sense here? So I'm curious to see how this all unfolds. I highly doubt they're going to get into the details that I'm talking about because people just don't think like that. People don't think about the home. People don't think about connecting the dots. They don't connect it all back to the home. And that's just my message here, is that all this is unfortunate for the family, right? I wish the family, and honestly, I wish the family well. This is unfortunate. Nobody should have to go through this type of stuff. And I'm sure the parents were going through it, and everybody's just lost trying to figure it out, and everybody got messed, right? So I wish the family well in that. But I do want to point out something that the news ain't going to point out. The reports ain't going to point out. The world ain't going to point out. Is that it always starts in the home. I ain't saying that this daddy forced this young girl to make bad decisions and go out there and get involved with older men or get in the car of a stranger or whatever it may be. I'm not saying that he pushed her to do it. But I am saying that when you're not right as a parent and you have your things that you're still working on, whether you're working on it or not, the kids are affected by it. If you're not right, the kids aren't right. And the kids grow up looking at you. So it all starts from mommy and daddy in the home, right? This did not start from her just hitting a wild hair and saying, I want to be this way. I want to behave this way. I want to pose like this. I want to act like this. It's not where it starts. It starts in the home, right? This is training, right? Even if it's not intentional. This is what anger does. This is what resentment does. She says she's ran away, according to reports, multiple times. She's already run away. She's already been rebelling. Why is she rebelling? That's the question. Why is she rebelling? Right? She's having issues in the home. She's not happy at home. So of course we could point the finger all at everybody else that like, dang, the world is so bad. The world is so bad. Yeah, but the world in us is bad. The world in us is bad. So why not overcome us so we teach our children to be smart and aware and wise so that then when they go out in the world, they're present, they're protected, they're wise in their decisions. The news won't tell you that. And I just want to encourage the father to reflect on that, Mr. Frank Gervasi. I just encourage Mr. Frank to reflect on that part. Take accountability for himself and the way he raised his daughter, right? Take accountability for his mistakes. You can't change the past and you can't prevent things from happening in the future, but you can take responsibility, right? And be honest with yourself and be honest with your children and express that to them. I made a mistake. I made mistakes. You got to. Or you leave your children vulnerable for stuff like this to happen to them. I ain't making this stuff. You guys be thinking I'm making this stuff up. Like I said, I don't know if the facts and all that stuff are true. These are just the reports. But the message about it starting at home is real. It is real as it gets. So that's my little true crime for today. Hold on one second. I'm gonna get to some. Let me see real quick here. I check the super chats and we'll kind of go from there. You can call in 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773. Let me see here. Press 1 if you get the point, if you're seeing the point, if you're seeing what I'm saying. Press 2 if Joel, hang it up, boy. You tried, but you don't know what you're talking about. Be real with me. Be real with the brother. Right on. I'm getting some ones. Oh, I got a 0. Oh. I got a 2. Tick. A lot of ones, though. Nah, I appreciate it. Let me get to some super chats really quick, and then I will get to the phones. Joel, why don't you get to the phones already? Get to the phones. This ain't your show. This is my show. Be quiet. Patty with a few donuts says, Joel, when are you going to disclose who your wife is? Lord have mercy. I wanted my daughter to be your wife. Ooh, but she has a PhD, and I know what Jesse says about that. Love you, Joel, and congratulations. When I first read that, Patty, I thought it said she has ADD, and I was like, whoa, who you trying to set me up with, girl? Nah. She has a PhD. No, already taken, Patty. I appreciate you considering me as somebody that would be good enough to marry your daughter. I appreciate that, but yeah, already taken, Patty. I mean, some people know, and if you know who she is, then you know. But I don't want to like carry her around in this case talking about this my wife, this my wife, this my wife. I'm just not into that. It almost feels a little bit uncomfortable telling you guys all these little details that you already know. But it ain't that big of a deal. But I don't think the world got to know everything about your personal business. But I appreciate that, Patty. Right on. Someone with a few donuts said, Joel, Friday knocked me into Monday with that marriage news. Yeah, very happy for you and the missus. Congrats to you both. I appreciate that, someone. Right on. Someone was referring to in church, a lady said, Joel knocked me back to Monday when I heard that news. Joel Friday knocked me to Monday. Everybody was laughing. Ha ha, he he. Thank you, someone. I appreciate it. Let me double check here. And then I'm gonna get to those calls. I'm gonna get to them. Let's see. All right. Let me go to Frederick out of Los Angeles. Frederick, long time no talk, man. How's it going?
How's it going, Joel? I got to say congratulations first and foremost.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the topic today, I just wanted to say we need to stay in the solution, you know what I'm saying, and not focus on the problem. Because even though, you know what I'm saying, you got the identity as a father, you can get lost in that identity and then think everything's your fault. You know what I'm saying? Once you know that they ain't in control or they don't know no better, how can they ever be forgiven? You know what I'm saying? If they always gonna put the blame back on the people. You know what I'm saying? Everything that will be is God's plan.
Yeah.
So therefore, you just got to know that the person didn't know better raising you, and you got to forgive them.
Right.
Because
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? That's not you. What happened to you ain't really you. So trying to prevent it is just going to make you stress even worse because it's nothing you can do about it, really.
No, I agree with that. I agree with the fact that, you don't want to hold it against anybody. You want to hold it against the fathers for being that way. But I'm also, what I'm speaking on is the fathers themselves or anybody themselves taking responsibility is also important, right? Because how could you prevent it from happening if you're in denial about it? And I think that a lot of the times we always point the finger, right? Like, oh, the dad was bad, or the mom was bad, or whatever it may be. But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what did you do to prevent this from, or what part did you play that added to this situation happening? And that's
but you
what
got to
I'm
look
pointing
at
out.
them. You got to understand that they're in the fallen state to begin with. You're putting expectations on people that's in a fallen state.
Right, but they're not. But they're grown. They're grown men. They're grown men. They're not just walk around the world just oblivious to the fact that their behavior is not wrong. They know when they're behaving improperly. They just don't realize the consequences.
Until they reborn. They don't know no better.
They all know. Everybody knows to a certain extent. Everybody knows to a certain extent that what they're doing is not proper. We just get away with. They're just okay with getting away with it because maybe they don't see the results.
Do you actually think that?
I really do.
Madoff said he made enough money to retire 20 years ago, and it wasn't about how much money he could steal. Like the mindset of a criminal is not even nothing that we can fathom. They don't do it for any reasons why we would think of why they were doing it. They don't even know why they're doing it.
Right. I do believe that.
So therefore, to try to prevent something that doesn't know why it's doing it, it's kind of be like, man, look, you can't even fathom it.
Well,
but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying of being better lookers, but that'll also drive them farther away. Sometimes you got to have a perfect balance of being whelmed and not too cautious and not too underly cautious, and you know what I'm saying, just show them the right way and just let go and have faith. God got us.
Yeah, no, I agree. But let me say this though, Frederick, because I do agree with what you're saying, but I also just want to challenge the mindset of like, at the end of the day, people are in denial about a lot of things, but it doesn't mean that they don't know that they're in denial, right? There's people who don't want to believe that they're not living right, But so they're in denial and they try to convince themselves that they are living right, right? But nobody has
I
been
believe that.
denied the opportunity to see the life that they're living. Everybody can see the life that they're living. Whether they want to live it right or not is up to them. But nobody is just completely oblivious as a grown adult to
You don't
their
think Christians
lifestyle.
are oblivious to reality sometimes?
I believe
You
that
don't think they don't see the lie that they're living? They're living a lie, but they don't see it. They're oblivious.
no, I don't think that they're entirely oblivious though. I think that they believe the lie and they're okay with believing a lie. But I think everybody deep down knows that something ain't right. And my belief, that's my belief.
But what's the use of knowing better if you ain't doing better?
Because people don't want to give up the lifestyle that
Then
they're
what's the
living.
use of accusing people if they ain't gonna do better and they don't care?
You said what? Say it again.
What's the use of accusing people and judging people if they know and they don't care? And nobody else cares that you judging them because they know what they doing anyway.
Exactly.
It's like
That's
you
why.
crying wolf, you crying at the sheep, and the sheep is like, yeah, we know.
But see the difference is we're talking about wolves here. When you talk about the sheep, a sheep is quick to be honest about their behavior, quick to repent about their behavior. The wolf is the one that is in denial about it and pretending to be the sheep as if they're so innocent and they don't know what they're doing. No, they know, but they don't want to give up their thrills and their comfort that comes with the lifestyle they're living. That's how I see it, Fred.
Okay. Perhaps you're right. But I don't know. These wolves are blinded and unconscious and all about thrills to me. And the ego feeds off that. So you be careful. But hey, make you some more black babies. I want to see them in the future, please.
Right on.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Fred, and good to hear from you. Been a minute.
For sure.
All right, man.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, there's a scripture in Romans. I'm going to have it for you guys ready. We talked about it on Punchy, where it basically says that God reveals the truth to everybody. And I didn't even know this until like recently. I didn't really understand this till recently. And it said God reveals the truth to everyone. But not everyone hears the truth. They reject it, right? For whatever reason. They reject it. And because they reject God, because they're not quick to repent, because they're not honest, then God gave their hearts over to darkness, and their hearts became darkened, and they develop a reprobate mind. So they knew, but they rejected for whatever reason. So people know their behavior. They just may not know how much it affects others. That's what they may not know because they can't see. So anyway, let's keep the calls moving. Let me go to and it was good to hear from Fred too. Shout out Fred. It's been a minute since we heard from Fred. Let's go to Rick out of Hampton. Rick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Man, my brother Joel, man, first most, congratulations on your marriage, man. May God bless you to have many more years of marriage and happiness, my brother.
Appreciate it.
The second question I want to ask you, man, is how can you tell when a child is depressed?
Oh, that's a good question.
The reason why I chose you to ask that, Joel, because you know about you having your dance class and you be around children a lot, and you know.
I mean, if you're around them enough, I don't know if there's any like concrete examples that I can give you that'll explain how to know. But if you're just paying attention, I think it's pretty obvious. Meaning like, for one, a lot of the things that I were to see in my students or whatever were things that I saw in me, right? Saw within myself, right? And
Right.
so so it was easy for me to recognize certain things, right? Certain behaviors.
Right.
People handle depression in different ways. Some people shut down, or some people are overly excited. So it's hard to tell how you would know, but it's enough to, for one, know that you don't know, but still be observant. That's all I can really say. I can't tell you any specific signs because it's so different in different people.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you're paying attention, you should be able to pick it up.
Because my daughter's so quiet. Cause see, I'm an outside person. I can go outside and I can talk, but my daughter's real shy. Sort of stay to herself, and sometimes, I don't know. I know sometimes I say maybe I'm trying to make her be like me.
Why
but
is she
at the same
shy?
time,
Why is she shy?
well, I guess I don't know, Joel. That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, see, and that's the things that need to be asked, and maybe you can, ask her, but there's a reason why she's shy and a reason why she's feeling like she doesn't have the confidence to get out there and be social. Maybe there's when I was growing up shy, for me, I don't know if it's the same for her, but it was because I never felt like I fit in, right? I always felt like an outcast or rejected in some kind of way, right? And because of that, I didn't want to. I was protecting myself from the world, like hiding. So that's where my shyness came from. But obviously that came down to, parental issues, that came down to all different types of things that I can point that to, but mainly my parents. But there's a reason why she's shy, and that's what you have to get to the bottom of. What's making her hide from the world?
Right. That's why I'm gonna tend to ask her that, because I don't like. I mean, I think she wants to be in the medical profession too. So like I said, you can't be shy being in that field. That's for sure.
Yeah. I would.
Other than that.
Yeah, I would ask those questions and really seek that out, because it's not for no reason. There's something that she's dealing with, and she's also young too. Emotions and you said she's under 18, I assume.
Yeah, 16 years old.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's going through that phase where it's like life is confusing. She's trying to make sense of things too, but you just want to pay attention to those things. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there was a little echo there, but yeah, I would ask those questions of why she's shy, and just pay attention to her behavior. And it should be kind of revealed over time, or just flat out ask her, why are you so shy?
Exactly. Straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot. Great advice, Brother Joel.
Right on.
And one last question. This young lady you're talking about, what's going on with her? What's her name?
Emmarae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been hearing stories about her, but I don't have the full details. I've just been hearing the name come up in conversation.
Yeah. Well, long story short, I don't know if you caught the earlier. I broke the whole thing down earlier on the show, but basically she just was allegedly kidnapped. The sources are saying that she got into the car willfully.
Wow.
And then I played some clips of her show some pictures of her being provocative looking and dressing, even when she was like 9 or 10, all the way up to 14. So she was troubled, in the home, and the dad was kind of seemingly shocked that all this was happening. But as I looked more into it, she was already troubled earlier on before. So, that's why I was encouraging all parents, really, at the end of the day, to just be more observant to what's going on in the home, because you may not know that this stuff is going on, but that's why we ought to be asking questions to the children, see what's going on, see where their mindset is at, and kind of break down.
Excellent. Yes.
Unfold it, because, they especially when they're young, they get lost up in the thoughts. And if there's no guidance there, they just kind of may lose or just go in the wrong direction. So, yeah, that communication is important for sure.
You ain't never lying. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't stress it enough. Absolutely.
Well, right on, Rick. I'm so out of time. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate
the
call.
Joel. Well, thank you for your taking my call, man.
Yeah.
Love y'all, brothers, man, and I'm enjoying y'all show.
All right, sounds good, Rick. Thank you. Amazing stuff. Anchor Baby coming in. Honestly, that's a great question that Rick is asking about. How do you know if somebody's depressed? Anything that I've believed to be true is because I've just observed it for myself, right? Like, I can't give you guys a 1, 2, 3 step on anything, and nobody can, of how to know this or how to know that. Is that you have to be able to see it, right? And you can't see it if you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? If you're not observing, if you're not asking questions, right? If you're not talking, right? If wife or daughter or husband or son is behaving a certain way and you don't know why, you ask. Just ask, like, hey, what's going on? And they don't want to tell you, then you deal with that, right? But they also have to know they have to communicate. But you also want to just pay attention. Because sometimes you know what's going on if you're just paying attention. You're just seeing the behaviors. You're seeing the actions that they're doing. You're seeing the way they're approaching life. Oh, she seems angry. She's angry. About what, though? Why is she angry? What's bothering her, right? And you ask a question, what's bothering her? Whatever it may be. But that's the point of the relationship. Relationship is communication, understanding. All right, y'all. American Anchor Baby coming in. Make sure you guys tune in to his show. I'm done talking. You guys want to make sure you go over to Rumble. Go to rumble.com/American Anchor Baby and watch Anchor Baby live. Do that now, not on YouTube, but on Rumble. Make sure you guys go do that now. Don't miss this show. You could podcast Monday's episode, yesterday's episode of Punchy TV as well. That was a good one. If you missed that, you could podcast that later. But tune in to American Anchor Baby and all that good stuff. Joel Friday TV across the board. I post daily new clips and shorts daily for the most part. Check those out. Share, like, and subscribe to those as well. Usually around like 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific time. So go check those out. All right, y'all. Till next time, I got to go. See y'all tomorrow for some more mess. Bye.